Coming up, it's the new Moto 360. The Raspberry Pi has a little bit of competition and a tiny little Android set for your TV. You've got to watch before you buy.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Before You Buy is brought to you by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com.
This episode of Before You Buy is brought to you by the Ring Video Doorbell. With a built-in HD camera and microphone, you can monitor your front door from anywhere in the world using your smartphone. It's like being home even when you're not. Right now, get $10 off the Ring Video Doorbell when you go to ring.com/beforeyoubuy. And by iFixit. You can fix it, and iFixit makes it easy with free step-by-step repair guides, high-quality replacement parts, and all the tools you'll ever need. For $10 off your purchase of $50 or more, go to ifixit.com/twit and enter the code Before You Buy at checkout. Hey, and welcome to Before You Buy. It's Twit's product review show where we take the latest and greatest gadgets and gizmos that we get here into the Twit Brick House in Petaluma, California, and we give them to the people who can give you the most honest reviews possible. Speaking of honest reviews, this first one comes to us from Miriam Giroir. Of course, you know her as Tank Girl. She's the one who knows phones, probably the best of the Twit Army. So we asked her to take a look at the Moto 360, and this is what she found.
Hello and welcome to Before You Buy. I'm Miriam Giroir and this is the review of the new 2015 Motorola 360. In fact, the LEDs on the back are shining right now. For the heart rate monitor, this is the smaller version of the Moto 360. So as you can see, this is a 1.3-inch display this year, compared to the 1.5-inch display last year on the Moto 360, because this is the 42mm Moto 360, not the 46. Comes in two sizes this year. Last year was a 46mm. Frankly, I have to say, it's a really nice difference. Even with me and large wrists, let me show you, it does look like it fits me better than these gigantic Android Wear watches I've worn in the past. As you know, I have worn the LG Urbane, which is a large diameter watch, and of course last year's Moto 360, which is 46mm or 4.6 centimeters. So 42 makes a big difference. Now you're gonna say, well, what do you sacrifice with a smaller watch? Do you get less battery life because the battery is smaller? Well, let's talk about that. It's actually one of the pleasant surprises about this new watch is that despite being smaller, I'm actually getting slightly better battery life than my original 2014 Moto 360. And technically on spec-wise, it's a 20 milliamp hour less. So it's a smaller battery even in terms of capacity, and I'm still getting better performance. So that's actually pretty exciting to me that we have a watch, it's progress from year to year, a smaller watch with better battery life. Here's, for example, an example of a screen. You can see I just received a notification. I've got it set to always on, which I really like, so that I just have to kind of look at my wrist and glance at it, and the time is there. It's kind of dimmer. But there is a drawback. As you know, there's two ways to do an Android Wear smartwatch. You can do an OLED panel like the LG Urbane, like the Apple Watch has, or you can do an IPS panel, like an LCD-based panel. Of course, with the IPS panel, it's harder to have an always-on display that works well, because OLED, you can modulate the signal a little better to the display and actually get a fainter outline that uses very less power. So on this, what I've noticed is that this is the faint version. As you can see right now, you can barely see the time, right? On an OLED screen, you could actually see that a little better. So that's one of the drawbacks that I personally think that, Motorola making the choice of an IPS panel here, like last year's Moto, which also had an IPS panel, is a bit of a compromise. I think OLED is the way to go for smartwatches, so I would have liked to see that. The other thing I just want to point out is the glaring, as you can see down here, flat tires still exists this year. So Moto has not cracked that nut. As you know, the LG watch and the Huawei watch both have a full round display, no flat tire, no little area. I've done quite a bit of walking today. It looks at 6,300 steps already. So this cutoff at the bottom can be a problem for some of you. If you like white display watch faces, this is not going to look good. Let me show you. So I've got this black display face right here on the screen. And as you can see, it looks great, right? Like it looks just like a watch. And as soon as I pick a white display, you'll see in a second, it's not that exciting anymore. You clearly see that flat tire, that bottom part cut off. So the flat tire and the IPS panels are compromises, but I love the size and I really like the battery life. It's really nice. And now one of the drawbacks of last year's Moto 360 was battery life. So this kind of brings it to par with the LG Urbane and the Huawei watch and the Asus Zen watch. You still have the heart rate monitor. I showed you that earlier when it was shining. You still have the wireless charging. It's actually the exact same charger as last year's Moto 360, which is cool. Another little tidbit that I think is interesting, you'll probably see it better if I put it on my wrist, but the crown, if you want to call it that, since there's no rotating crown on the Android Wear watches, is no longer centered along the 3 o'clock axis. So what you'll notice here is that the crown is no longer at the 3 o'clock position, but it's at the 2 o'clock position, which is really great. So it kind of gets out of your way. When you bend your wrist back like this, you don't activate the crown as easily as you do with other watches. And to me, that's been a pretty nice little advantage as well. So it's all in the details, right? Because Android Wear is the same experience pretty much on every watch. Round or square, you get the difference of OLED versus IPS, but the experience overall doesn't change too much. So these little details really make a difference. This watch comes in different colors. You can get it in black like this. I got the black with a brown leather band. You can get it black with a black leather band. You can also get it silver. And then there's other options of band metal you have to pay extra for. You can also get this with gold accents. So silver with gold accents or black with gold accents. You can also get it in gold with silver and black accents. So they've introduced some variations in how you can order this. And of course, it's using Moto Maker, which is Motorola's website to design your phones and watches, to let you configure the watch, which is really kind of cool. So I had a fun time choosing and making my watch that's custom, that works for me with my choices of colors. And at the same time, you know, it was really delightful to try out a smaller watch for a change. But, you know, flat tire, IPS panel, although it looks great, is not quite as bright when it's in low and in dim mode like it is, as you can see right here. And then it's still a little thick, as you can see, right? You still have a pretty chunky watch to deal with. So that, even if you have small wrists, the diameter is nice, but the thickness is going to be a problem. So is this a buy? Should you get this watch? Yes, I mean, absolutely. I think it's one of the best Android Wear watches today. I still think the Huawei watch is the best. The LG Urbane is really great. If you have a large wrist, those two watches will do the trick. If you have a smaller wrist, really right now, this is one of the best. I'm not a big fan of square watches. The Asus Zen watch is one of the best nice square watches on Android Wear, and I recommend it if you want a square watch. But for a round watch, something that's a little more manageable in size, this is definitely the way to go. The band is only 20 millimeters instead of 22, so it really does look great on the wrist. So pros, beautifully made. You know, this is like PVD coated metal. It's not going to wear out. If it's like last year's Moto 360, I beat the crap out of that watch, and it does not have a single scratch, both on the glass or on the metal, and it's a black metal, so that should be just the same. Other good thing about it is, so, you know, beautifully made, durable, all metal. The Moto Maker experience, the choice, the ability to customize and build your watch on their site is great. And then the battery life has been really good on this watch. The drawbacks are, again, as I said, the choice of display here means that you're not going to get as great of an experience glancing at your watch for the time. And then the flat tire, right? It's still really obvious, like, especially when a white watch face like this. So hopefully they can fix that for next year. And I didn't talk about this, but it's really not very relevant. The specs are pretty much what you expect from all Android Wear smartwatches. Snapdragon 400, 512 megs of RAM, 4 gigs of built-in storage. They're all the same pretty much now. Last year's Moto 360 was a bit of an oddball. I had a TI OMAP processor, which was kind of really, really old. So I'm glad they've updated. And that's probably why with a smaller battery, they can get better battery life. So there you have it, my review of the Moto 360 version 2, aka 2015 edition, in a small size, 42 millimeters, 4.2 centimeters. Stay tuned for more videos here on Before You Buy.
That's a buy from Miriam Joire for the Moto 360. Last week it was Huawei's watch, and This week, Motorola gets some big ups with a lower-priced watch that, well, outperforms its predecessor. Now, you can find Miriam Jouar here on the Twit TV network, on Before You Buy, of course, and also all about Android. But if you want to find out what else she's been doing, please check her out on Twitter. That's Tank Girl. Just remove all the vowels, TNKGRL. Let's go ahead and move on to something a little different. We talked about watches, which is great. You know, it's part of the phone ecosystem. But we know there are a lot of makers, a lot of tinkerers, a lot of weekend engineers in the Twit TV army. So we asked Aaron Newcomb to take a look at a competitor to the Raspberry Pi. That's right, folks. It's the Onion Omega.
This is the Onion Omega. It's
wait a minute, just let's guess, everybody. Is it a Tor router in a wristwatch? Is it Onion Omega? Is it Onion? What's the Onion? Is that it's got to be a Tor or something?
No, it's not.
Oh,
it could be though. So there's potential there. It's actually a small little Linux computer on a chip.
What?
Similar to Raspberry Pi. You want to open it?
So it's like the Windows.
We'll do an unboxing.
It's like the Windows 10 Raspberry Pi. Do you have my over the shoulder or no? Yes, you do. It's like because that's a big thing, by the way, at Adafruit now is the Windows 10.
Yeah, which I don't like at all, but I'm glad
Linux?
Adafruit did it. Yeah, there's
Linux
no reason to do
sense.
Windows 10, but let's not get on that one.
Yeah, I like the puzzle piece.
Yeah, isn't that cool? This is a very nice box. This was a Kickstarter project, and what's cool about it is it uses OpenWRT as the operating system.
So that's the router operating system.
Yes, exactly. So it's very small. It's for embedded. It comes with this thing you're taking out now is the extension board, which allows you to add add-on modules or hook up those pins as GPIO pins.
Okay.
This is the core unit here. This is the actual product. Look how small and cute that is.
So is that a processor there?
That's a processor, exactly. And this is what actually runs Linux. Now, by itself, just like that, you can't really hook it up or do anything with it. But it comes with a mini extension board, which is the other box.
Okay.
And so when you put those two together and turn it on, what it does is it automatically sets up its own AP. So you can connect to it. It has Wi-Fi built in, by the way.
So there's the USB port.
There's the USB. There's a Wi-Fi
the
chip on there.
USB for power.
Yep.
Where do I dock it?
So just line it up. Line up
I
the
see.
shapes.
It's got pins on this side.
It's got pins on that side. Just line it up.
Does it matter which way I go?
It does. Yeah, but you got to match up the shapes.
Of course it does.
Match up the shapes.
Match up the shapes.
Yeah, one of them has. You had it the other
cut
way.
Corner.
Other way.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
It's like an SD card holder or something.
I would not be good at this.
Oh, sure you would. This is easy.
Right. And do I have to push it harder, or is that?
Yep, push it till it goes all the way in.
Okay.
It's a little hard to put together there.
Yeah.
But the great thing about this is they're developing some really cool add-on modules for it. It's very small. It's really built for IoT. It's built for the Internet of Things. You could hide that inside of something and be monitoring sensors or running some sort of little locate me program. There's all sorts of things you can do with it. And
it's running.
It's running Linux.
A mini Linux? I mean,
it's a scaled down version of Linux.
Because this is the memory chip here, right?
Yep.
So how much memory does it have?
Oh, that's a good question. See, I knew you were going to ask me.
I wish I had a magnifying glass. I could probably tell you.
Yeah, it's
and then
not much.
And then this daughter board.
I want to say it's like 16 meg.
Look at
that. There's the specs there. 64 meg. I was close.
Okay.
16 meg of flash, 64 meg of
Frankly,
RAM.
this is also what your router looks like.
Exactly.
If you took the box out.
If you took everything out of your router, you absolutely could.
And then, okay, so if I want to put this daughter board on, I do the same.
Yeah, you would actually take it off. Yeah, you would take it off of the. You have to take the mini one off and put that one on.
All right, and then you get GPIO. Which
and then
means
you get GPIO, exactly.
These pin connectors.
And there's also the add-on boards which plug into those pin slots there as well, the purple pins. So you can do an Ethernet add-on board, or you can do a Bluetooth add-on board.
This all comes with the kit.
It all comes with the kit.
And how much?
Good question again. I think it was
35. That's not bad.
You still have it?
Raspberry Pi-like.
Raspberry Pi-like, but small. The integrated Wi-Fi is a huge plus for people because Raspberry Pi does not come with integrated Wi-Fi.
You have to get a module.
So to have the Wi-Fi built in, there it is, $22.50.
What?
$22.50.
What?
Really simple to get started. It's not as cheap as the chip, right? Which is starting to ship any day now. I can't wait for that to come out.
I've kickstarted the chip.
Yep. Yeah, I did too.
That was $9.
$9, yeah, which everyone says that's impossible, but we'll see.
You know what's amazing is the incredible price performance curve in microelectronics. As things get micro miniaturized, the cost goes down while the power goes up. It's just crazy.
It is crazy.
And it's what's powering our whole world, including this Internet of Things, the ability to take what is functionally a full computer, including wireless internet access into something this size for $22. You could put this in anything, you know, and make it internet capable.
Yep. And kudos to the developers. They've done a great job with the setup. Now, they're having some trouble getting the documentation because they've been so busy shipping these things out. But I did find some documentation, was able to get it set up in about 5 minutes. Like I said, it starts at access point. When you connect to the access point, you go to a web page and type in your local SSID and password for your local wireless. And then it goes out, updates the system, reboots, and you're ready to go. They're working on some other things like this, the Onion Console, which will be a desktop-like environment for you to make it a little bit easier to use. And they've also got a cloud app with APIs already set up so that you can connect multiples of these things and have them up in the cloud and just run your API calls against them, so you don't have to actually connect to it directly at all.
You'd be crazy not to become a maker in this day and age.
Absolutely.
The tools are so easy, so integrated, and the potential is so huge. I want to see your Halloween projects.
All right.
Let's do some Halloween projects, everybody, and send them along to us.
Send a picture
and we'll show them and talk about them. I'm not going to pull this apart. I'm afraid of breaking it. So.
It does come apart kind of hard. So,
yeah, I'll let you. Well, if I had a screwdriver or something, I could do
Yeah.
Very cool. That's the Onion Omega. And what was the URL for that, Brian, that you found that on?
Onion.io.
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 That is the best web address ever.
Mm-hmm.
Onio. Onionio.
Onio.
Onioio.
I didn't think you could get a whole lot cheaper than the Raspberry Pi and still keep the functionality, but I got to tell you that Onion Omega looks pretty darn good. I can't wait to get one into the no-hole so that we could start experimenting. Now, look for a full review coming up in a future episode of Before You Buy. Thanks again to Aaron Newcomb, who you can find all over the Twit TV network. When he's not making at his makerspace in Benicia, you'll find him here on Floss and, of course, on Before You Buy. Now, before we move on to our next review, let's go ahead and take a moment to thank the sponsor for this episode of Before You Buy. And it's a company that, well, I really like. If there were companies that you could root for, Ring would be one of them. Of course, they make the Ring Video Doorbell, which is right here. This is what you get when you get yourself a Ring Video Doorbell kit. Of course, it's got the Ring Video Doorbell itself, but you also get all the tools that you need to do a proper install. The drill bit, the level, even the charging cable. It's very simple. If you've got a doorbell on your existing door, you just use this plate. This plate will adapt the voltage going to that doorbell in order to charge your Ring Video Doorbell. If not, they give you this micro USB cable so you can charge the internal lithium-ion battery and be good to go for a year. Now, the question is, what does it do? Well, the Ring Video Doorbell is first and foremost a doorbell. When people ring that button, it will sound inside the home and outside, which you know you would expect. But beyond being just a doorbell, it's caller ID for your home. Here's how it works. When someone comes within range of the motion sensor, or if they ring the doorbell, the camera and the microphone turn on. So for example, here's a doorbell I actually purchased before they were an advertiser, and I installed in my parents' home in Henderson, Nevada. What this allows me to do is to see who comes to the door. I actually see the people. I can see their faces. This is recorded to the cloud. I can download it to my device if I need it, which means I don't have to worry about people casing my parents' home when they're not there, ringing the doorbell and then walking away. I can actually answer the call, answer the door from here in California. My parents have actually answered it while they're on vacation. This is what the Ring Video Doorbell really is. It's a peace of mind. It's a way for you to make sure that you know what's going on in your home, even when you're not there. Now, folks, why not try the device that was voted as one of the top 10 gadgets of 2014? The Ring Video Doorbell isn't just something else to add on to your home. It's a way to protect the investment you've made in your home. And if you're like me, and you worry about your parents, you worry about people who might be a bit more vulnerable than the rest of society, it is an invaluable piece of tech. Right now, because you're a member of the Twit TV Army, you can get $10 off the Ring Video Doorbell. Just go to ring.com/beforeyoubuy. That's ring.com/beforeyoubuy. Protect your home and have a peace of mind with Ring. And we thank the Ring Video Doorbell for their support of Before You Buy. Let's go ahead and move on. Now, We've taken a look at a very cool watch. We've taken a look at a competitor to the Raspberry Pi. Now I think we need to get outdoors, maybe get a little bit active, which is why we asked the cranky hippo Brian Burnett of Know How to check out the ActiveOn CX camera.
This is Brian Burnett from Twit and Before You Buy, and today I am looking at the ActiveOn Action Camera CX. This is a GoPro competitor action camera. Clearly you can see that by the design of this camera, but where this camera shines is its price point. It comes in at $119.99. And just quickly going over the specs, it has a wide angle lens for capturing all your action sport stuff, a 5 megapixel sensor which will record up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. Included are things like Wi-Fi, 2-hour battery life. At the bottom of the CX, it also has a nifty little tripod screw, which is very helpful for obviously setting up on a tripod or using a selfie stick, which actually was included with this in this review, but that does sell for a separate $19.99. Probably my favorite feature of the CX is the fact that it has a integrated 2-inch LCD screen. This helps when positioning the camera, and also navigating the menu system is relatively easy. There are only 2 buttons on the ActiveOn for changing mode and for starting recording. On the camera itself are little LEDs that will flash while recording. I did have an issue that these are kind of small. They are positioned at the top, front, and bottom of the camera, but when the ActiveOn is actually recording and after 2 minutes the screen will go black, it is a little nerve-wracking not knowing whether or not it's recording at a glance. I wish that the LED was a little bit bigger, something like you would see on a GoPro, just to give you that sense that it is recording. The ActiveOn does come in a waterproof housing, which is pretty standard for action cameras these days. It's very similar to a GoPro case. So similar, in fact, that you can detach it from its included little clip-on sticky mount straight to any GoPro mount, which is pretty handy considering I already have a GoPro, and it was nice to be able to use some of the same mounts. So there are a variety of recording modes, from video recording to doing burst photos, time-lapse mode, quite a few effect settings. Also available for the CX is a number of different colored faceplates that comes in at $24.99, and it gives you an opportunity to add some flair to your camera. I probably wouldn't do it personally, but it's nice to have the option to be able to give your camera some color, and the faceplates do fit pretty nice and snug. The selfie stick, otherwise known as the annoying stick, can be used to bother your coworkers or sneak around corners and things like that. At $20, it feels a little expensive for what it is, but again, it's a selfie stick, so if you need it, go ahead and buy it. I did have a lot of fun using it, but I don't know if I personally would put it on my must-have list, unless you like annoying your coworkers. So finally, what is it like using the camera and recording? The video quality is pretty good. I did notice there's a little bit of graininess in dark situations, but in bright sunlight, it does a really good job recording. It does have a little bit of issues transitioning from shadows to light, but overall it does a good job with colors, and at 1080p, 30 frames per second, does a pretty good job of recording action stuff like riding my motorcycle. Audio recording duties are done with a small mono mic, and it does a good job picking up audio, voices and things outside of the case, but really these cameras aren't meant for capturing a lot of great audio, but it does an admirable job for what it is.
For some reason, the new style of selfie stick where the stick is actually in the frame.
Have you seen the one that it's like an arm holding it, so it looks like it looks like you're holding hands with someone?
I like to pretend like I have friends.
Now for the pros and cons. The main pro for this camera is its price. $119 is pretty cheap for a camera that has this many bells and whistles and the video quality that you get from it. The next pro is the LCD screen. It's nice to have. When setting up a shot, you don't have to second guess yourself like you would on a GoPro if you have framed the shot right or not. And the third pro is the 2-hour battery life. It did do a very good job at that. As for cons, the low light quality of the camera is pretty bad. If you're in a dark room or going through like a parking garage or something like that, it's not going to be able to capture very much, or it gets really grainy when it does. Another con is it doesn't come with a lot of mounting options. It comes with one sticky mount, and if you want to buy any of the accessories are actually fairly expensive for what they are. The selfie stick and the fact that I had my own GoPro mounts helped a lot, but if you had to go out and buy the accessories separately, the price definitely starts to go up from there. So buy, try, or don't buy. If you're looking for a secondary camera to maybe your GoPro, or maybe you're just looking for a affordable, best bang for your buck action camera, you can't go wrong with the ActiveOn CX. It does a good job recording at 1080, and the list of features that you get on it is pretty impressive for its price. So I would give it a buy. This has been Brian Burnett from Before You Buy. Thanks for watching.
It's a buy for the ActiveOn CX camera. Of course, this is a clone. Everyone knows that anything that's this size and this format that takes action photos or action video is a knockoff. Let's call it a knockoff. It's not bad to be a knockoff of the GoPro. But one of the things that Brian really liked about this is the fact that, well, it's inexpensive, so we could put it into places and into situations where we don't necessarily have to worry as much about destroying it as we would with a $400, $500, $600 GoPro. Also, the built-in screen means that's one module that you don't have to buy for your camera, and anyone who's ever tried to aim one of these properly knows the pain of either eyeballing where the camera lens is pointing or trying to use an app. So if you do need your action photo, your action video, and if you find yourself in a like mind with the Cranky Hippo, go ahead and check out the CX Action Cam. Yeah, that's right. We try to give you all the latest and greatest here on Before You Buy. Thanks to Brian Burnett. You can find him on Know How every Thursday at 11 o'clock with me and all across the Twit TV network. He's one of the faces behind the camera who keeps everything rolling here at the Brick House. Speaking of keeping things rolling, why not take a look at the Griffin Ultra Thin and the Survivor Apple Watch cases. If you are an Apple Watch aficionado, you're going to want to protect your investment. And Megan Maroney has come in to show you how you're going to do just that.
Hello, I am Megan Maroney for Before You Buy with a review of the new Apple Watch cases from Griffin. Now, whether you're after style or protection, Griffin offers a few cases that you might want to consider. Let's start with style first, as it seems less and less likely that Leo or anyone else is going to be buying me that $1,500 equestrian-inspired Hermes cuff Apple Watch. But that doesn't mean I can't add a little fashion to my Apple Watch sport. The ultra-thin cases from Griffin easily snap on and off to change the color of your watch and to simulate a precious metal. They come in a 3-pack for $19.99. Here are your color options: gold, matte gold and clear, or silver, matte silver and clear, silver, matte gold and clear. They're super easy to snap on, which unfortunately also means they snap off just as easily. They're easy to lose, so be careful or you'll end up popping one off and not noticing until after it gets run over by a car in the parking garage at work and someone brings it in to say, "I believe this is yours." If you're more fastidious than I am, these cases will protect your watch from scratches. But if you're worried about dings and dents from high impacts, you might want to try the Griffin Survivor Tactical Case. For $29.99, you get a rugged shell with a plastic cover that fits snugly over your Apple Watch and still offers easy access to the digital crown, the side button, and the touchscreen. The Survivor Tactical Case comes in colors matched to various Apple Watch sport bands in white, blue, green, pink, and black. After wearing this for a few days, I found that it also pops off easily if you catch it on something when you're reaching into your purse. If you don't find yourself doing that very often and you're afraid of cracking the screen on your watch, give it a try. Of course, what you gain in protection, you will lose in style. So if someone buys you an Hermes Apple Watch, please promise me you won't cover it with the Griffin Tactical Case. Thank you. You can buy the Survivor and the ultra-thin cases to fit both the 38mm and the 42mm Apple Watches. Here are the pros and cons. The pros are that they look nice and it's fun to change your watch into a different color. And they fit perfectly on and off, easy to get on and easy to get off. But that, of course, is the con too. They're too easy to pop on and off. They pop off really easily. Sometimes you don't notice. They could get run over by a car or anything. They're not very durable when they're off. They're kind of cheap and plasticky. So I would say I would give these a don't buy. Back to you, Padre.
Oh, it's a don't buy for the Griffin Ultra Thin and Survival Apple Watch cases. Yes, you do want to protect your investment, but unfortunately it looks like those are not the ones you want to use. Thanks to Megan Maroney for her honest review. Of course, you can find Megan Maroney here on the Twit TV network every weekday at 4:00 p.m. Pacific for Tech News Tonight, as well as for iOS Today and i5 for the iPhone. Once again, I'm sorry, but you need something that's not going to fall off your wrist into a parking garage and get crushed. Trust me, we speak from personal experience. Speaking from personal experience, you may have known that I'm one of the resident tinkerers. Along with Cranky Hippo Brian Burnett, we like to, well, take things apart. We like to fix things. We like to upgrade things. We like to make things better. And our partner in making all those things better has been iFixit. Now, iFixit isn't just a source of tools. They're also a source of knowledge. They have all the repair guides you'll ever need to make everything in your life better. You want to fix that Xbox? Yeah, you could do that. You want to fix your watch? Yeah, they've got the tools for that. Do you want to fix your copier machine to your doorknobs? Well, they've got guides for pretty much everything. And now they've gone one step further with the iFixit Business Repair Toolkit. Now, the name says it all. It's everything you need to kickstart your repair business or take your tech go bag to the next level. It's one each of all the best iFixit tools packed nicely into a custom shoulder bag to make on-the-go repair efficient and effective. The repair toolkit includes the ProTech Toolkit. That's the gold standard. That's the kit that we all love, know, and use. It also has the magnetic project mat, so your screws and knickknacks don't go rolling away the next time you bump the table. It's got a portable anti-static mat, a ProTech screwdriver kit, an eye opener, heavy-duty suction cups in case you want to open up the screens on iPads and iPhones, as well as a digital multimeter if you need those precise controls. So, for example, if you're playing around with quadcopters, sometimes you need to check out voltages before you release the blue smoke. There are also a lot of extra plastic opening tools, spudgers, cleaners, dust blowers, pretty much everything you might need to get up and running and repairing. All of this is neatly organized into a custom iFixit messenger bag. It's perfect for storage or to take your repair shop on the go. It's the all-in-one kit to kickstart your repair business, and it has that complete arsenal of tools that I can personally vouch for. This giant bundle is available at a steep discount over regular price. It's only $249.95. That's $100 less than buying everything individually. Buy it for yourself, for a new employee, or give it as a gift for the geek in your life. And best of all, iFixit has all those repair guides to go along with the toolkit, so no matter why you need it, you'll be able to use it properly. Here's what we want you to do. We want you to fix it, and iFixit can help. When you visit ifixit.com/twit, you can save $10 off any purchase of $50 or more by entering the code before you buy at checkout. That's ifixit.com, and use the code before you buy to save $10. We thank iFixit for their support of before you buy. All right, folks, time to show you a little something that we've been holding in our back pocket for a while. Back at CES 2015 in January, we got a chance to take a look at this. This is the SlimPort Nano-Controller. Now, the idea is very simple. Give me a dock. Something that I can take my Android device, in this case I've got the Fire tablet, plug it in, charge it, connect it to my TV, have it pass through so that I can also hook up my other video devices, and then give me this nice, easy to use remote control. With this, I should be able to take my gadget on the go, then bring it home and plug it in and have access to all the same apps, all the same services, all the same content that I had when I was on the road. Now, we were at CES, of course, talking to the makers of the SlimPort Nano-Console, and, well, this is what we found. If you're like me, you probably have a bunch of gadgets, but you got a little problem. You need to get them charged, connected, and controlled. Now, you could buy a bunch of products to do all three, or you could get a SlimPort. I'm here with Marv Wu. Did I say that? Sue. Marv Sue.
Yeah.
It's a long night, folks.
Yeah, sure is.
And you're going to explain to us what this little box is. What is this?
Well, it's a remote control for something we're announcing here called the Nano-Console. This is a Nano-Console, and it's a dock. It's a mini dock. And what you do is you would put your mobile device right here, and then you would plug this little cable into it. This is a SlimPort connector into your mobile device. And what that will do is allow video to come out of your mobile device. There's an HDMI out that connects to a big screen TV, and at the same time, it'll also charge your mobile device. This is your remote control to control your mobile device while you're sitting on your couch. It's not just enough to say, I want the screen for my mobile device to go to a big screen. I need to be able to do other things useful with it. You know, it's really important that I keep my mobile device charged, but it's also important that I control it. And so let me show you. It's as easy as here. We have an Amazon Fire HDX 8.9. And what we do is it's attached to the Nano-Console. And now you can see, I'm just gonna put my thumb here on this remote, and I'm just scrolling through apps and games. And oh, I downloaded a movie. I could just start up the movie right there. Oh, I want to go to the home page. I just click on home, I'm right there. Oh, I actually shared some documents from my PC or from the cloud that I've loaded onto my mobile device. In fact, let's look at them. Be able to sit on your couch, relax, and hold this little nano remote to control everything. It's almost an extension of you touching the glass on your mobile device.
Yeah, that's a better way to use your mobile device. Marv, thank you very much. Now, pricing and availability, when can they pick up one of these nano docks?
That's right. You'll see us being able to bring this to market in the March timeframe for pre-ordering, and then you'll see it in full availability starting around the April-May timeframe of this year. In terms of pricing, we're working on that. It's looking to be around the $50 range.
Fantastic. Thank you, Marv, and take a look at a SlimPort.
Thank you for your time, Father.
Being a first look, I'm not going to give you a verdict because I still need to get this thing to work. Supposedly, it should work with this Fire tablet, but I haven't been able to make this go. And yet at CES, I did see it working with devices, and I actually really liked the look and the feel. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to try this with as many devices as I can. I already know what the biggest problem is going to be for me, which is finding a device with SlimPort compatibility is going to be a challenge. But the idea is sound. I like the idea of being able to take something that's powerful, something like my portable media tablet, the thing that I've downloaded all my movies and my TV shows to, and having something that will charge, dock, and connect all at the same time. The idea is sound. The only question is the implementation something that you'll want to buy? Well, that's for a future episode of Before You Buy. I want to thank you for dropping in, and thanks to all of our reviewers. Of course, that means to Megan Maroney, that means to Brian Burnett and Miriam Jawar. Your reviews are the things that make people come back again and again and again. We also want to thank everyone here who makes this show possible, to Karsten, my super producer, and to my TD this week, who is Victor. I don't know if Victor's got a camera on himself, but I always love it when he says hello. Victor, can you say hello to the people?
Hello, Padre. Hello, people.
Victor is one of the hardest working people here at the Twit Brick House. He keeps the audio, the video rolling, and he keeps us edited and looking good. Now, don't forget that we do this show every Friday at 3:00 p.m. Pacific Time, live.twit.tv. And as long as you're watching live, drop into our live chat room at irc.twit.tv. Until next time, I'm Father Robert Ballecer, just reminding you, you've got to watch before you buy.